Hello and welcome, Miss Dr. Mom family member. I'm so excited that you guys are with us today. We are talking about how to change our health without diet and exercise, and we are doing a whole series on it. So feel free to go back and catch the first episodes that we've had. One was on pillow height and how that affects you and how important it is. The second one was on sleeping positions and how they can actually affect your health. So today we're going to be talking about something that I thought of first when you think of no diet and exercise and how do you change your health with the biggest impact, and that would be using water. Water is so important for our body. Most of you know that the contents of your body, like the majority of your body, is in fact water, and so making sure it's topped up on a regular basis can be key to your health. Now we're going to start with talking about some of the signs that you might not recognize that is related to not getting enough water. So some of the things I see in my clinic is lips that are chapped. That's like a big sign. It's something that you might recognize on a friend, you might see on yourself, you might see in your kid. Chapped lips are a sign that your body isn't getting enough water, and so stealing it from certain areas, and that happens to be one of the ways that it utilizes it in other areas, and so it takes it from our skin. Some people will get not just chapped lips, they'll get chapped hands, especially within the wintertime when our atmospheric environment or the environment within the air doesn't have as much water content to it. And so we get dehydrated faster because every time we breathe, the water is getting sucked out of our lungs. We don't have a big thirst mechanism in the winter, not as much as in the summer when we're sweating all the time and we know the sun is hot and we're feeling hot and we just want to cool ourselves down by reaching for a glass of water. Well, winter can be more important for you to focus on the water content within your body, because your body is not telling you when you have a problem. Your body, once it's low, once it's missing about a liter, the thirst mechanism will kick in. It'll happen sooner within the summer, but not as frequent in the winter. The thirst mechanism will happen, but we confuse it with hunger. And so sometimes I often will recommend to people, if you feel really hungry, start with a glass of water and see if that takes care of it. Wait about 15-20 minutes. Wait till that water gets out of your gut. And then you'll know for sure if you're actually hungry or thirsty. Now, I do have people asking me if they can drink too much water. And this is really important to go over because yes, water can kill you. It does that when you drink too much water, you flush out something called electrolytes that are circulating within your blood. And the electrolytes have an impact on some of the chemical reactions happening within your body. When you flush out too many of these, you can get into a situation that's life-threatening. So making sure that you have the right amount of water throughout the day and not too much or too little is very, very key in order to maintain the health of you. And that's what we're doing today. We want to take little actions to have a lasting impact so that we're healthier tomorrow than we ever were today. And we can't do that without some of these tools. And so there is an ideal amount of water that you should be drinking. If you're a normal, regular size adult, they say between 2 and 4 liters. That's some of the research, but I usually get people to drink 2 to 3. If you're recognizing some of the signs within your body with where you're not having it as much saliva in your mouth, if your tongue is looking white, often that can indicate you're super dehydrated. If your pee is a dark color, like a really like brownish to orangish color, or it's a really, really bright yellow, that can indicate that you're moving towards that dehydration, and we don't want to do that. Now, sometimes I have people that come into my office and I'll be adjusting them, and the way their joints feel, I know what they normally feel like, and I can tell when they need more water because their joints are closer together. And so when you're not drinking enough water, sometimes if there's not enough water within your joints, you're losing that protective mechanism in the joints. You're losing the springiness of the joints. And so it's possible that you have a greater chance of injuring that joint or getting it stuck in a position that it shouldn't be in and having to go see a chiropractor in order to fix it. So when you're talking about water and fluid intake, we want to recognize that there's some things that crop up within our water habits that can help us or hinder us. One of the things that I do as a ritual first thing in the morning is I go and drink a liter of water before I even touch any food in the morning. I find that this sets the stage for my entire day. I feel more energetic. I feel like I don't need to go drink and I don't have a thirst. And I'm a very physical person because of my job with being a chiropractor. So for you to start your day off right, make sure you get enough water first thing in the morning, because you've had anywhere between 6 and 12 hours where you haven't had anything to eat or drink. And what's more important, eating or drinking? Of course, it's the drinking to start your day off right. So now I have some people that ask me, is sipping water or gulping water better? And surprisingly enough, I find for me, the beginning of my day, I'm going to actually just gulp the water down. I just want to make sure it gets into my body, and I happen to be a little bit speedier. And so I actually won't sip at that point. But if I'm wanting to amplify or make my digestion happen better, such as drinking water with a meal, I'm going to just gently sip it because I'm having a meal at the same time as I'm drinking that water. I don't want to dilute my stomach acid, so it robs me from the ability of being able to digest my food to the best that I possibly can, because I want to get as much nutrition out of that food as possible. So sipping at a meal is something I do, but I do gulp first thing in the morning. I've had people, when I can see that they're dehydrated in their body, and yet they're telling me that they're drinking a lot of water, I'll often tell them to slow down the water drinking process and try to sip it so you can prolong your body's ability to just like slowly get it into your system. If anybody remembers back from high school, there's something called as an osmotic gradient, which is actually the way the water moves throughout our body. So if there's a concentration of particles on one side of a membrane or one side of a cell, then the water has to actually move in a certain direction. And we want to strategize that movement of water. And so sometimes what I do personally is I actually will add electrolytes into my drink in order to make the water movement in my body happen properly. I don't want the water just getting flushed through my body. I want it to actually be staying in my body and getting to the right areas. And in order to do that, again, I'll add some electrolytes, which will help with that process. Some people have a question about, like distilled water. What is it? And is it good for you? Because a lot of times we think, distilled is going to be the healthier and the better and the cleaner water. Yes, but it's going to lack everything. If you're drinking distilled water on a regular basis, you need to supplement with minerals because you are not getting any from the water that you're drinking. And water is usually a vibrant source of minerals. And minerals are super important in your body in order to replenish, in order to help chemical reactions happen, in order to help your body thrive. Minerals are very, very, very important. So something else throughout the day, if you guys are drinking coffee, you got to make sure that you're actually drinking more water. If you really feel like you're on the high side of drinking water and yet you still have signs of dehydration, you have to do something to combat that. I recommend is an electrolyte. Now, electrolytes are minerals. You can get like sports drinks and things like that that'll have it, but I tend to stay away from the ones that are high in sugar. I will steer towards ones that actually have like stevia in it and a little bit healthier products. That can have a huge impact on our general health. Now, another sign that you're low on water is joints aching and pain. And sometimes it's like a stiffness, or if you're lacking water, you'll get swollen ankles. Watch for those signs. Now, swollen ankles may not be just lacking in water, but oftentimes that is the actual direct cause. So If you notice that your ankles are swelling too much, make sure you're getting that water into your body and drinking it on a proper basis. Things that help me get water into my diet is things like having a little bit of lemon water before my meal, or making sure my water's not just water. I do things like drinking tea that have no caffeine in it. I'll infuse vegetables or fruits within my water in order to, again, increase that concentration gradient so you're getting the water into the right spots. That can be super important for your health. The next thing is, some people I've seen add salt to their water, and it can have a huge benefit if your diet is not really high in salt. Now that's not across the board. There's some people can benefit, some people absolutely it can be devastating for. So I have kidney stones, and that's the last thing that I would recommend for me if I was my doctor. And my doctor is saying that I need to drink a lot of water. I need to drink more on the high side in order to flush my kidneys out on a regular basis so that the stones don't get a chance to form. I've had people where I've gotten them to drink a little bit more water, and it's changed things such as plantar fasciitis. It's changed things like gout. It's changed things. Now that's not across the board. Everybody's individual with that kind of thing. It's changed things like arthritis type of pain. So water can have a huge, huge impact, and that's why I thought it was super important to address. And it's important to address and realize that sometimes your body doesn't signal that you're thirsty. And so you need to look for other signs. Constipation is usually a sign of lack of either magnesium or water. Magnesium actually is needed in the bowels to bring water back into the bowels in order to flush everything through your body. Use water as a tool in your health regime. This can be super important and super profound, and it can make a huge difference. Like, intentionally use water. Like, use it when you get up in the morning. Sip it in between meals, not necessarily during a meal, but if you're going to do it during a meal, make sure you sip and you don't gulp. And guys, I hope this can have a huge impact on your life, because I find myself, when I'm getting enough water, I'm quicker, I'm faster, I'm more energetic. I feel like I'm more in my A game within my practice. I have the vitality, and I have the life and the strength and the health to face my day with positivity and encouragement. And there seems to be like an ease throughout my day where I can get through it without having to think about it. And I want that for each and every single one of us. We want to be better tomorrow than we ever were today. And that's why it's very important to address intentional drinking. So drink water intentionally. Drink things that are going to make you healthier and stronger and more vibrant, and perform better at work and show up better for your family at home, because that's the most important thing that you can do, is you can be better for your family than you ever were at work. And you want to live better and healthier tomorrow than you ever are today. So guys, live with passion and drink lots of water. We want to empower you to become your own Miss Dr. Mom. If you miss your doctor, who do you go to? You go to Mom. And I want you to be that go-to person that helps your family, that helps yourself. And I want you to be empowered. I want you to feel like you have the ability to take charge of your health and create a different future for yourself and your family. We want to get those tools out to each and every individual so that they know certain signs and symptoms in their body, and they can piece those symptoms together in order to get the right help possible. And if nothing else, this will give you a way to talk to your doctor so that he can relate, connect, and get you the proper diagnosis that you might need. And that's what Miss Dr. Mom is all about. We are so excited to welcome you guys on here. And please share this message. We want you to subscribe. We want you to like. We want you to comment. And feel free to let other people know that we exist, because we want each and every one of you to be healthier tomorrow than you ever were today.